Chapter 12. Light, Shadows and Reflections. At night, when we enter a dark room, we are not able to see anything. As soon as we switch on a bulb or a tube light, we are able to see everything around us. What enables us to see things around us when a bulb or tube light is switched on? We need light to see the things around us. Sources of light. An object that gives out light is called a source of light. All the sources of light can be classified into two categories: natural sources and man-made sources. Natural sources of light. Sources of light that occur in nature are called natural sources of light. For example, sun, stars, firefly, deep-sea organisms. Man-made sources of light. Sources of light which have been made by man are called man-made sources of light. For example, candle, tube light, electric bulb, torch, and kerosene oil lamp.
Luminous and non-luminous objects. An object that gives out its own light is called a luminous object. The source of light, like the sun, the stars, the burning candle, a glowing tube light, a lighted electric bulb, a firefly, an electric ray, all are luminous objects. An object that does not emit light is called a non-luminous object. People, animals, birds, plants, chairs and tables are all non-luminous objects. We can see non-luminous objects because they reflect light received from luminous objects like the sun, a bulb or a torch into our eyes. For example, moon is a non-luminous object that does not have its own light. We can see the moon because it reflects sunlight into our eyes. Light from the sun falls on the moon. The moon reflects its light to us on the earth. Thus, moonlight is actually reflected sunlight. Transparent, opaque, translucent objects. We can group all materials and objects as transparent, translucent or opaque. The materials that allow light to pass through them and therefore we can see things clearly through them are called transparent materials. Materials like clear glass, clean air, clean water and cellophane paper are all transparent materials. The materials that allow only some of the light to pass through them are called translucent materials. We cannot see clearly through translucent materials. Materials like ground glass, butter paper, oiled paper, paper simmered with oil, and tissue paper are translucent materials. The materials that do not allow any light to pass through them and therefore we cannot see anything through them are called opaque materials. Materials like wooden chair, metals, clay, brick, wall and so on are opaque materials.
Activity 1. To classify different objects into categories such as transparent, translucent and opaque. Things needed: a piece of cloth, some tracing paper, a glass sheet, a wooden sheet, some tissue paper, a candle and a matchstick. Method: hold the objects you have collected in front of a lighted candle one at a time. If you see the lighted candle clearly through the object should be regarded as transparent material. If you see the lighted candle faintly or partially, the object consists of some translucent material. If the lighted candle is invisible, the object is made of some opaque material. Observation. Try to look at the lighted candle through the given objects one by one. Record your observation in the table given. Object. View through the object fully possible, partially possible, impossible. Object is opaque, transparent, translucent. Wooden sheet, glass sheet, a piece of cloth, tracing paper, tissue paper. Activity 2. To show that light travels in straight lines. Things needed: a candle, a matchbox, and a rubber tube. Method. Put a lighted candle on a table. Take a rubber tube, stretch it straight, and look through it at the flame of the candle with one eye, keeping the other one closed. If the rubber tube is straight, you will see the candle flame through it. Now, bend the rubber tube in the middle and look through it at the candle flame again. You cannot see the candle flame through the bent rubber tube. Conclusion. The light of the candle travels in straight lines through the hole of the rubber tube. When the rubber tube is bent, the light of the candle flame fails to reach us. Therefore, we cannot see the candle flame. We can now say that light travels in straight lines, rectilinear propagation of light. The rectilinear propagation of light explains a lot of interesting phenomena related to light, including the formation of shadows.